Max, the beggar, material poverty, moral wealth, and the inner freedom of consciousness. The testimony of the spirit Max, the beggar, presented in the second part of Heaven and Hell, deepens the reflection initiated with other accounts of extreme poverty, showing that material condition does not define spiritual state, and that inner freedom can flourish even in contexts of great deprivation. Max manifests with simplicity, clarity, and a surprising serenity. In life, he faced misery, social exclusion, and severe limitations. Still, he did not cultivate deep resentment or continuous revolt. His consciousness demonstrates relative balance, intuitive understanding of trials, and an intimate posture of active acceptance, not passive, but conscious. He suffered, yet he did not allow himself to be imprisoned by suffering. Modern depth psychology helps to understand this state by distinguishing external deprivation from internal impoverishment. Studies on resilience indicate that individuals capable of maintaining meaning, simple values, and minimal human connections can preserve emotional health even under extreme adversity. On a spiritual level, this internal foundation appears as stability and openness to learning. Spiritism clarifies that Max's spiritual state does not arise from poverty itself, but from the way he lived poverty. The material test was not glorified, it was endured with dignity. Max did not confuse lack with inferiority, nor pain with hatred. This intimate stance built moral resources that sustain his consciousness after passing. Contemporary science reinforces this reading by showing that emotions such as gratitude, acceptance, and hope have a profound impact on the organization of consciousness. When integrated, they reduce psychic suffering and expand the capacity for adaptation. Spiritism broadens this understanding by showing that such internal states accompany the spirit beyond physical life. Another essential point of the account is the inversion of value criteria. Max, invisible to the eyes of society, reveals himself to be spiritually freer than many who have had comfort, status, and recognition. What remains after the death of the body is not possessions, but the intimate habits of consciousness, how one thought, felt, and reacted to life. The testimony also calls for collective responsibility. Although Max faced his trial with dignity, this does not justify social indifference to misery. Spiritism does not romanticize poverty. It recognizes the moral greatness of those who confront it with integrity, while simultaneously urging society to reduce avoidable suffering. Max teaches us that true freedom does not depend on external circumstances, but on the ability not to define oneself by pain. He shows that consciousness can be poor in goods and rich in values, limited in resources and broad in humanity. Spiritual justice does not measure success by material achievements, but by the moral quality of the responses given to trials. Reflecting on this account is an invitation to active empathy and a reassessment of priorities. Alleviating another's pain when possible, cultivating simplicity, gratitude, and respect are now concrete ways of spiritual growth. Awareness grows when it learns to recognize dignity where the world often does not see. If this testimony helped you reflect on poverty, dignity, and inner freedom, like, share, and leave your comment. Your participation helps this message reach more people.